What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of You Heard What I Said podcast, where we discuss real raw conversations about life, love, relationships, and the lessons we learned. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. We want to hear from you guys. We want to interact, all that good stuff. So join us, and thank you again for tuning in. And what's up, Kion?
Hello, Precious. How are you doing?
I am tired as heck, but I'm here.
Yeah, you don't look like you've been already sleeping for 20 hours. So you're good.
I appreciate that. Because it was nowhere near it.
So it dropped to zero, huh?
Right, yes. Absolutely. That sounds about right.
Man, sorry to hear that.
Hey, that's life, just like the shirt you sent me. Life be lifing. It's okay,
I hear you.
Roll with the punches. Mm-hmm. So how was your weekend?
It was good, nothing special, just being an adult, being a parent. It never ends. So, I'm not going to go into detail, but it's just, it just never ends. Just wish there was just a weekend of just nothingness. But that's over. That's overness.
Right. People always say like, oh, it's hard. Like when the kids are younger, like when they're babies, toddlers, it's like, that ain't got nothing on when they become teenagers, young adults. Like, oh my goodness. It's like those issues. Woo. Something else. So yeah, I get it. I didn't do anything this weekend either. I was gonna hang out yesterday, but I didn't. We got the Tyler baby this weekend. Not an excuse, he's an absolute joy. But no, just in the house this weekend. So nothing too special. Wasn't outside, but I will be next weekend. I've already made the plans.
There you go. Hopefully, I heard that the weather's gonna be pretty nice coming up, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like in the 50s now. Let me look. I think it's like...
I thought I heard in the background something about maybe hitting 70 one day coming up.
Ooh, right. Today, it's in the upper 50s, but starting Tuesday, it'll be almost 70, and then on the weekend, it'll be like almost 70. So yeah, that's exciting. Yes, I'll be outside. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Sunny too. Oh,
look at you.
Oh, she's ready.
You're tripping. I love it though. Hey.
Look, I'm telling you, every time I get on here, like my energy just shifts. So it's awesome. If we could record every day, that would be great because it really boosts, my energy. So I'm excited.
I appreciate you because, like I said, everything that's like when I talked about, when you're driving and you park, you close the door, all your problems are right there. So you go out and enjoy yourself. That's how it feels here, where I shut the door right before I hit the on-air button. So all the problems, they'll be there when this is over. But until then,
that's true.
We are kicking it.
Right.
Just kicking. Who's that?
Is that
Stomp your feet. Oh, I guess we hold on. We got to be careful. So I have to.
Well, it's only a few seconds. Right, that's okay. Shout out to y'all. We love the music. Well, look, before we get into it, let's take a toast. I got my tequila ready. Yes.
A little tequila too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So toast. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you. And I made it good this time. I did just my cranberry and orange juice, so it's perfect.
Yeah. Cranberry and you gotta name it. You gotta name it something.
Ooh, Precious Delight.
Ooh.
That's what I'm drinking on.
Precious Delight.
Right. Every Sunday, Precious Delight.
I like that. I like that. Coming to the shelves soon to your local liquor store. or liquor store, corner store, penny store, whatever y'all call it.
Exactly. Gotta get that trademarked. Okay, look. Let's get into it. Because, We doing another one of them topics, sort of deep but not deep, but we gonna get into it. And it was another question that was on the tonight's conversation, the card game. So shout out to you guys. You're doing an awesome job. So, and I came across one of the questions where it said, where is the question? Who hurt you? Like, that was the question. Who hurt you? And what have you done to heal? So yeah, that was the question. And that was kind of deep. I had to think about that for a while. Like, who hurt me? Because I guess at some point in our lives, someone has hurt us. So I don't know. You might be surprised with my answer, but I don't know if you want to start it off or if you want me to start it off.
I guess I'll start it off. I'm gonna go kind of a unique route.
We might be doing the same thing.
No. It's gonna be totally different. It's gonna be a surprise to you. It's gonna be a total shock to you. However, when I say unique route, meaning it's gonna end up with the final. We're gonna end up at the final destination, but it's gonna take me, a few extra turns to get there. So
no problem. I got a feeling that we about to have the same answer. I got a feeling.
No, mine's dealing with sports.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little different, because I know we talk about life, love, relationships. So this is more about life. I know we like in the last week it was more detail about personal love or whatever you want to call it. But this is more about life in general, about who hurt me, and it's not a physical thing. But I'm gonna kind of start it off by just saying this is hearsay, so to speak. So I'm not sure if it's 100% factual, because I haven't had a conversation with the actual individual, and I don't know if it's 100% factual. However, I did see some proof that it is true, or it was true, and so I'm gonna kind of let it go at that, because I don't want to stir up any controversy, because it's something that happened, let's see, almost 35 years ago.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So, for those of you that don't know, I am currently still. You may not see, but that's why I have the camera here at above, so you won't see here and below, because no excuses. But I'm not at my prime weight like I was back in high school. However, throughout high school and college, I felt I was a pretty decent athlete.
Right.
I started in freshman year running track and high jumping and long jumping, and then in my sophomore year, kind of here, depending upon where you are in Texas or in Florida, people start sports young, 7, 8 years old, especially football, and that's the point I'm about to get into. They start early in football, but for me, I didn't start until my sophomore year. I had no interest in football, actually, until someone that I hadn't not even thought about playing football until I remember one of my classmates, rest in peace, he mentioned that I should try out, I should play football. And I was like, okay, and I did. In my sophomore year, I actually, they call it frost off in football. And I did that just for a short amount of time, because I was elevated and promoted to varsity, playing tight end at like 150 pounds. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Here I am, like the thinnest person on the team on the line of scrimmage, but because I could, right? Like, what the heck? But because I could catch. And so I had to finish some people, and because they're like, why is this sophomore guy who weighs half my size, starting as a tight end? But anyway, so I did that. In 3 years, I ended up thinking I was pretty good. And so we had some scouts throughout various games and things like that. And the person who hurt me was a coach at the time. And again, it's not a physical by any means. So so it's nothing physical, not even anything verbal directly towards me or anything like that. It's actions that I felt were done, and that others could back it up as well, but I can go into too much detail. But the bottom line is, when you get to your senior year, or you start considering what university, what college you're going to go to, and there's something that's called scholarships, where you get some people call it free ride, where
Right.
they pay for your room, books, tuition, all of that, and because they feel that you're a good candidate to be a part of the team and to help the team grow and bring revenue into the university, and so you get a scholarship where you get everything that's pretty much comp for the 4 years you're there.
Right.
And so before you get the scholarship, you get what's called like letters of intent, where you get letters from different schools, different universities saying, hey, we're excited to see you. We want you to come visit our school, see what we're about. We're interested in you. We want to see if you're interested in us. We're going to try to sell you on why our university, our college is the best route for you to go to. So people get these letters saying, hey, I want you to, we have this date, we have this day, this day, this day. So a lot of people get all excited because they get a chance to go for free pretty much to all these different colleges and see which one fits them, which one fits, which one they like the best, which coaches they like the best, and things like that. So from me personally, let me see, how should I put it? I receive various letters of intent. However, they weren't presented to me until after the deadline. And so instead of me getting excited about saying, oh yes, I would love to attend your college, university to see if it's something I'm interested in, by the time I received all these different letters, the deadlines had already gone by to the point where all the scholarships were already filled and those dates were gone. So so I was like, okay, this is very crappy. So that's the situation that hurt me because, thinking I had a possibility, it wasn't a guarantee, but that I had a possibility to go to get a scholarship to a university. It could have been could have been one of my spots that I've only attended a couple of times, but down southeast tip of Florida, university of something like that. I got a letter from them, got a letter from some others, individuals, but also I got a letter from a university where I was, the state that I was in, so to speak. And because the information had already passed due, I still reached out to them and I sent footage of film and things like that. And so they asked me, they said, hey, unfortunately all scholarships are filled, but we would like for you to be what's called a preferred walk-on, where you don't get a scholarship, but you have a spot on the team, but you don't get a scholarship. You have your opportunity to earn a scholarship. So I chose that school, and a couple years into my career there, I ended up getting a scholarship for the last couple years. However, that's the story where that individual hurt me because it was an opportunity to where I had a chance to go to a different college for free, and that was taken away from me without my knowledge, to where who knows what would have happened, where I would have ended up, in that situation. Because unfortunately, what happens is if you're a walk-on at a prestigious university and others have a scholarship, sometimes regardless of how good you are and how talented you are, you're not going to play because they paid they paying for someone else for your spot, and all of a sudden they see someone that walked on taking that spot. Then down the road, years later, other people would not want to attend because they feel, okay, even though I got a scholarship, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna end up playing because of that certain situation. So it's fair, not fair, whatever you want to call it, it's reality. But that individual hurt me because kind of took it away from me. And so how am I dealing with it? I still think of it this day. I'm talking about it, as we speak. I had a conversation with one of my teammates actually about a month or so ago, and we kind of talked about different stories, and he was actually the starting quarterback for the university that I went to. And we had a nice little conversation, and I kind of he kind of expressed some things and certain things that happened to him, and I expressed that situation. So sometimes the way I handle it is by talking about it, like I'm doing right now. I don't have any regrets because I'm here today. I'm here talking to you, have a beautiful family, and so certain circumstances, how I'm dealing with it is I don't know what would have been or what would have become of me, where would I be at today And so I'm just thankful for the situation that I'm in now. And it's made me a better person, realizing that when I went to that university without a scholarship, I had to work my butt off to get one to play. And so who knows what would have happened if I went elsewhere or things like that. So I deal with it by never forgetting, but by also remembering that it gave me an opportunity to work harder than the next person. Because kind of tell you this one story. As a walk-on at this college, I'm sure hopefully it's different now, but in the springtime and the summertime when we went there for 2-a-day practice, whatever, we were isolated from the team. So there's there's a visitors locker room and a home locker room where all the meetings and everything like was at. The walk-ons had to go on the other side of the field into the visitors locker room to change and get ready, and then come all the way to the other locker room for the meetings and to get ready for practice and all that stuff. So we were isolated, for a while. So that gave me some kahunas, so to speak, to really want to work harder than the next person. So how I dealt with it, it made me want to work harder and prove others wrong that I deserve to be at that situation. But I still think about it to this day, not every day, not every week, every month, every year, but it's a thought that I forgive the individual because I don't know what happened, I don't know the full story, but I will never forget what happened. So.
Well, I will say that you definitely shined out there on the field during college. Like every time that you got out there, you would hear your name on the mic for something that you did.
Appreciate that.
You did awesome. And it's sad that you had to go through that, but obviously, we have lessons that we have to learn, and whatever it was that you had to take from that situation, I hope obviously it just made you a better man. I kind of remember hearing like a few stories, but people never really told me much. I was the baby, so
it was rough, man. It was rough, but we had that bond though, because we were all isolated. Most of them stuck. Some of them got scholarships like me. Some of them we didn't see the next year, meaning that they didn't make it or they just quit or whatever. But it strengthened some bonds. And then I had a conversation with a teammate, I don't know, a year or so ago, and because of because of the way I handle things, he was a year behind me. He didn't even know I walked on because of the way I presented myself. He thought I was already always on scholarship just because of everything. And he was a walk-on, and he looked up to me after realizing that, because he was like, man, I had no idea, but you presented yourself, differently, and I appreciate that because I had no idea. So
well, that's wonderful. That should make you smile and feel good.
It feels good.
That's great.
No, I'm tripping.
Right, you're right. I thought we was gonna have the same type of answer, but we're far.
I'm curious.
Far
I'm so curious as to. Man, I'm curious as to what you have to say. So I'm gonna take a quick drink to. Okay, we're on the same page there. So I'm curious about this one.
Well, mine is kind of totally different. I really had to sit and ponder on this, like, who hurt me? And I finally came to the conclusion that it was myself. Like, I hurt me. I hurt me by, when it comes to like, we're discussing relationships as far as me and what I've been through. And then not necessarily romantic relationships. It could be friendships, whatever, just relationships in general. And I realized that, I hurt myself by hanging on way too long, enduring more than I should have, not knowing my worth, or, not having limitations, any of that. Like, I hurt me by just sitting there, and I had to think about it like, girl, what are you doing? This isn't you. This isn't the life that you should be leading. I don't think that any of us were brought here on this earth to be just like distraught and sad and, not happy and not living, to our full potential. And kind of like in our dream, we were brought here to be happy. Of course, we have lessons to learn, but there's no reason why I should be sabotaging myself, you know. So yeah, that's what I had to realize, you know, and I had to take accountability. It's like, it's real easy to point the finger and say, oh, it was you did this, you did that, and you know, romantic wise you cheated, or friendship wise you weren't there for me, or whatever the case may be, until I realized, like, you saw the signs. You knew they were there. You knew that they weren't the person that you wanted them to be, but you still chose to stick around and, you know, do all this, and it only bit me in the butt. You know, I'm the only one sitting over here unhappy, sad. They're gone, you know, living their best lives. So I had to take that in, and it took me a long time to realize that it was actually a few years ago, maybe about 8 or so years ago, when I finally realized that. And then I had to kind of go like on an apology tour and be like calling people up and say, I guess that's like kind of part of my healing process. I apologize, because I do realize that our dynamic, or whatever it was, changed, and it was because of me. You know, I might have pulled back or blah, blah, blah. And I had to explain why. You know, this is why I did what I did. You know, regardless of what they did in a situation, I had to be accountable for my actions. So, and I recently had to go on another apology tour, because I realized I left some people out. You know, so I had to do that again. And it's definitely therapeutic to get that out, to say, okay, you know, I did play this part, you know, in the situation, because it's not always, well, most of the majority of the time, it's not always just one person. You know, it takes two to be in any form of relationship. So, you know, you both play parts in it. So, yeah, it was a lot. And I just realized, you know, the part that I played in my demise. And, you know, once I realized, girl, get your shit together. Stop, you know, pointing the fingers. Realize that it's you who needs to grow and change, and, you know, set your boundaries and all that, if you want to have a better quality of life. So yeah, that's pretty much what I realized.
Now you said it was about 8 years ago. So was it just a dream? You woke up from a dream? Was it you just woke up one day and like, you know what? You know, what got you to finally realize that?
I realized I, you know, was kind of down and in the dumps. And I'm like, why am I feeling this way? And what do I need to do to get out of this? You know, pretty much, what do I need to do to heal? So it's like, okay, then I had to think about, what's bothering me? Is it really this? Is it really that? And so I did a lot of self-reflection. You know, I had a lot of time to be in my feelings. So yeah, that's what made it. And then I kept getting people coming to me and apologizing. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I did this. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh wait, it wasn't all them. You know, I played a part too. Whether, I mean, I don't know if people say there's levels, you know, to different things, but it's like, okay, yeah, you might have did this, but I could have handled things differently. You know, like I'm not perfect in any situation. So I had to, that was like the first thing where I had to go back, like don't carry all that weight on your own. You know, you weren't in this relationship alone. So just because, you know, you might have did some things, look, I did too. So I can take the blame for my part. So you let that go. Let me apologize for, you know, my actions in the situation. And then we both can move forward. And it's really like, just like a weight like lifted off of you.
That's all about to ask you.
That. You definitely feel lighter. And in some instances, it kind of brings the people closer together, because you're like, you know, thank you. Because it's a lot of times where people will be like, you know, you never apologized, or, you know, you never showed any type of accountability. And sometimes that's all somebody wants. You know, is that apology, some type of changed behavior, whether you all want to continue in, you know, whatever form of relationship it is, or just go ahead and go your separate ways. Because I mean, you know, if we're being realistic, sometimes people just grow apart, and that's okay. But I don't think that you should just leave people just dangling to be like, what did I do? I don't think I did anything wrong. Was it me? Like, nobody needs that. I don't need anybody living rent free in my head, or me constantly worrying like, what did I do? What did they do? Or are they thinking about something that I did? So yeah, it took a long time. Like I said, I did that years ago, and I thought I was done.
Right.
Until I ran into some more people.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, you got some more work to do. So yeah, I think working on yourself is a daily task, and yeah, so that's what I would say. Look, you heard what I said. I gotta take another drink for that.
No, why you do that? I mean, like you said, it's just all about the relief where you finally let it go. Because, like, for me in my situation, over the years, I've learned to kind of realize that, you know what, I forgive, because honestly now I look back and what I've learned, I don't know what the situation was. Let's say, for example, that it was true in my situation. I don't know what the situation was as to why it was held against me and others. What the reason was. Was it jealousy? Was it envy? Was it forgetfulness? Was it I don't know what the reason was.
Wait, so quick question. So you weren't the only one. There were other people who didn't receive their letters as well?
From what I heard, yeah. From what I heard, it was a couple. It was a handful. It was just like a stack of letters, and then I was handed those letters from the different places, and I read letters, and that's where I'm just like, I see the University of University of this, University of that, and this, and so I see who had the interest in me, and so I was hurt for a long time. But then I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I don't know, because I never had that conversation, so I'm not gonna. Okay. So I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know. Like I said, it could have been jealousy. It could have been envy. Because now I'm over the 5-0. I'm in the 5-0 and above club. I'm thinking like, man, when I was 15, 16, 17, he was probably, I'm not sure, maybe 20 years older, so maybe 35, 36, 37. So looking back when I was that age, I don't know what was in his mind. And so I don't know. So I don't know the situation. I just know from my perspective that hurt me, because I felt I had an opportunity and I had choices that I wasn't given that opportunity, those choices. But again, like you talked about, that we all have a role, we all have a part, and so my part was to take advantage of whatever opportunity that came in my direction, my way, and to make the best of that, and to not regret, and not to downplay, and just to be the best every single day. And thanks to you and the family coming to see me every Saturday, and the excitement level, that got me going, and my teammates got me going, and just a lot of and my coaches, and just a lot of things got me to the point where I'm at today. So I want to thank you guys for just being in my corner, cheering me on, rooting me on, and throwing those positive vibes my way, because I couldn't have done it alone by any means. So
yeah, look, I know I embarrassed you every weekend. Everybody knew your nicknames, all of that. But yeah, and as far as the coaching, you just never know what someone is going through, and not that that's something that you should overlook, because your feelings are valid. They're always valid, but yeah, it's a lucky situation. But I'm glad that you made the best of it. So yeah, absolutely. And sometimes maybe it was just a way of protecting you. Maybe you weren't meant to go to those other schools for whatever reason that it was. So obviously, you met good people where you were. Like you said, you had good coaches. You did well. So maybe you were at the place that you were supposed to be. So yeah. And it taught you to be more resilient, stronger. Like I said, just a better person, because you had to endure those things. So it's like, okay, now I got to be a little stronger in order to, go through all these obstacles. So, oh yeah, I'm happy. I'm proud of you. You've done a great job.
So I know we haven't done any fun facts in a long time.
Oh, okay.
Or anything like that. On just from whatever you just said earlier today, do you have any one-liners, any phrases that you could share with the world? Any fun facts or any wise words of wisdom that you could share with us?
I don't know. Like I said, everything happens for everything happens for a reason, because it's meant to align you to the place where you're meant to be. So whatever lessons that they were that you had to learn, it was to put you in the place that you are today.
Very true.
That's all I got.
That's what you heard what she said, because every person comes into your life for a reason. Whether if it's just for a second or just for a nice little intro, outro, or whatever the case may be. Someone just comes in and just walks past you for a second and they change your life forever. Everybody comes into your life for a reason, whether if it's someone that's long term, short term, in the moment, but it's all a teaching lesson that we can learn from them. So
thank you for sharing that with us, because I know that was definitely, a traumatic experience for you. So I'm glad that you were able to work through it, heal from it. So that's awesome. And who knows, I might have some more apologies to do myself. I'm a work in progress. So every day I'm constantly learning and growing. So thank you guys once again for tuning in with us. And as always, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. Like I'm telling you, we want to interact with you guys. We love doing the show, and we are truly grateful that you guys are tuning in with us. So, Kion, how can everybody reach you?
Yes, thank you, Precious. And you can reach me at Kion said 37, and the 37 is my lucky football number.
Hey, yes.
And how can you be reached, Miss Precious?
Precious said 888, and hey, that 888 is for abundance. I claim it every day. So once again, we thank you guys, and we will see you all next week. All right, bye. Put myself up. What is it? Gotta put myself up.
How about this? Like, when we think of his story, it's really my story to tell.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
I don't know.
In school together, and we just became friends. Sort of, kind of out of circumstance, and the things that they're okay. We're gonna leave all that out because I don't even know where I'm going.